This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. We simply analyze the use of weapons and other props in movies from a historical and cinematic perspective. This content does not in any way promote violence or advocate the misuse of weapons. Viewer discretion is advised. Directed by Martin Scorsese, The Departed is a masterclass in tension, betrayal, and violence set against the backdrop of Boston's criminal underworld. This 2006 crime thriller, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, and Jack Nicholson, isn't just one of the greatest crime films ever made. It's also a fascinating look at the firearms used by both sides of the law in modern-day Boston. The film took home 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director, and it grossed over $291 million worldwide on a $90 million budget. But what makes The Departed particularly interesting from a firearms perspective is how the weapons reflect the characters who use them. From standard-issue police sidearms to throwaway Saturday night specials, every gun in this film tells a story. So let's dive in and break down the guns of The Departed. Because in Scorsese's Boston, everyone's packing heat and nobody's safe. Before we dive in, if you enjoy this content, hit subscribe for more. The Sig Sauer P226. Right off the bat, we need to talk about one of the most important firearms in The Departed, the Sig Sauer P226. This full-size, all-metal 9mm pistol is the standard-issue sidearm for the Massachusetts State Police in the film, and we see it consistently in the hands of troopers throughout the story, most notably Sergeant Colin Sullivan, played by Matt Damon. Whenever the movie cuts to an official police operation, traffic stops, tense barracks confrontations, or the chaotic street scenes, the P226 is the handgun riding in every duty holster. And in one of the film's most pivotal moments, Sullivan uses his P226 to execute his longtime handler, Frank Costello, putting a brutal end to their years-long alliance with the very gun issued to him by the state. The Sig Sauer P226 is part of SIG's famous Classic Line series, originally developed in the 1980s as a high-capacity service pistol to compete for military and police contracts. The 22 in the model designation marks it as a full-size duty handgun, while the 6 identifies it as the 9mm variant. Built on a lightweight alloy frame with a stainless steel slide, the P226 is renowned for its reliability, accuracy, and sheer durability. Unlike polymer-frame pistols that became popular later, the P226 is old-school metal, solid, balanced, and built to run flawlessly even under abuse. The P226 chambers 9mm parabellum and typically feeds from a 15-round double-stack magazine, giving it a total capacity of 16 rounds with one in the chamber. For a service pistol of the era, late 80s into the 2000s, that was top-tier firepower. It uses a traditional double-action, single-action trigger system, meaning the first trigger pulls both cocks and releases the hammer with a long, heavy stroke, while every shot afterward is a lighter, shorter, single-action pull. This gave officers a deliberate first shot and fast, accurate follow-ups, something that made the P226 extremely popular with law enforcement agencies around the world. One of the reasons departments loved the P226 was its combination of ergonomics and safety. The pistol uses SIG's decocking lever rather than a manual safety, allowing officers to safely lower the hammer after chambering a round without needing to flip any external safeties. The gun also incorporates multiple internal safeties, including a firing pin block that prevents the gun from discharging unless the trigger is pulled. These features made the P226 both secure for duty carry and fast to bring into action, which is exactly why so many state police agencies trusted it. In The Departed, the P226 shows up in some of the film's most tense moments. Colin Sullivan carries it as his everyday service weapon, and because he's the mole inside the state police, the gun becomes a symbol of his double life. Clean badge, dirty soul. The P226 appears during interrogations, raids, and standoffs, and it's front and center in the rock quarry scene where Costello meets his end. In several shots, the gun's distinctive profile and decocker are clearly visible, grounding the film in the real-world gear used by actual Massachusetts troopers. What's fascinating is how the P226 unintentionally becomes a thematic symbol in the movie. It represents law, order, and institutional authority, the official tool of the good guys. But in The Departed, that line is paper thin. The same gun meant to uphold justice is used for betrayal, murder, and self-preservation. The P226 is regulation correct, reliable, and professional, reflecting what the state police should stand for, even when the person wielding it is anything but. The Walther PPK, we have to talk about the other standout sidearm in The Departed, the Walther PPK, which serves as Billy Costigan's go-to concealed pistol throughout the film. Compact, sleek, and unmistakably old school, the PPK fits perfectly with Billy's life on the edge. A weapon small enough to disappear under street clothes, yet credible enough to keep him alive in the razor-thin margins of undercover work. We see him draw it in some of the movie's most nerve-shredding moments. Quiet confrontations, narrow escapes, and those scenes where you can practically feel the walls closing in on him. The PPK becomes a kind of visual shorthand for Billy's double existence. Refined and controlled on the outside, but coiled with danger underneath. The Walther PPK itself is a classic among classics. Born in the 1930s, built on a fixed barrel, blowback design, and long celebrated for its balance, simplicity, and concealability. Its slim steel frame and short barrel make it easier to hide than full-size duty pistols, while still offering the reliability that made Walther pistols a favorite among European police and intelligence services for decades. While it famously shows up in spy films, the PPK in The Departed carries a different sort of energy. Not suave or glamorous, but tense, gritty, and personal. In Billy's hands, it's less an icon and more a lifeline. Small, dependable, and always just one heartbeat away from disaster. The Beretta 92 FS, a professional's finishing tool. Another semi-automatic pistol that deserves attention in The Departed is the Beretta 92 FS. While it isn't the standard issue sidearm for the Massachusetts State Police, those are overwhelmingly SIG Sauer P226. The 92 FS still makes a major appearance in the film. Its most significant moment comes in the final scene, where Staff Sergeant Dignam, played by Mark Wahlberg, quietly walks into Colin Sullivan's apartment and ends him with a suppressed Beretta 92 FS. That exact screen-used pistol, fitted with a mock suppressor, has been documented by the NRA National Firearms Museum, confirming its role in the film's brutal closing act. The Beretta 92 FS is one of the most recognizable handguns ever made, thanks largely to its adoption by the US military in 1985 as the M9. That switch from the century-old Colt 1911 to a high-capacity 9mm created a massive ripple effect across American law enforcement, with many agencies adopting the Beretta for its capacity, reliability, and military-proven track record. Its Italian design is immediately familiar. The open slide layout, exposed barrel, and sweeping curves of the frame give it a silhouette that even casual viewers can spot. Chambered in 9mm parabellum and feeding from a 15-round double-stack magazine, the 92 FS offers the same capacity as other major duty pistols of its era. Its open slide design not only gives it a distinctive look, but also improves ejection reliability and reduces weight. Mechanically, it uses a short recoil, delayed locking block system that's known for smooth operation. Between its soft recoil impulse and its reputation for feeding virtually anything, it earned a place as one of the most durable service pistols of the late 20th century. One of the defining features of the 92 FS is its slide-mounted safety, chasse de cocker. Engaging it safely drops the hammer on a chambered round and moves the gun into safe mode. Some shooters love this setup, others prefer frame-mounted controls, but there's no questioning its decades-long real-world track record in both military and police applications. Paired with the gun's full-size frame, excellent ergonomics, and long sight radius, the 92 FS is known for being accurate, comfortable, and extremely dependable under stress. In The Departed, the Beretta 92 FS isn't a general-issue police gun, it's a storytelling weapon. Its single surgical use in the final scene is deliberate. A quiet, suppressed professional pistol chosen for a job that needed no witnesses and no hesitation. When Dignam steps into Sullivan's apartment and delivers that wordless, merciless shot, the Beretta becomes the exclamation point on the film's entire theme. In a world full of rats, betrayal, and blurred loyalties, the last man standing is the one who finishes the job cleanly. Frank Costello's snub-nose revolver. Now let's talk about one of the most memorable guns in the film, the snub-nose revolver carried by Frank Costello, played brilliantly by Jack Nicholson. Costello's weapon of choice isn't the Little Chief's special many people assume, but a Smith & Wesson Model 19 Combat Magnum with a short barrel, a compact but powerful 6-shot revolver that fits his old-school mob boss style perfectly. We see Costello use this gun early in the film, including the cold-blooded execution on the airport tarmac, and every time it appears, it reinforces just how dangerous and unpredictable he is. The Smith & Wesson Model 19 was introduced in the 1950s as the Moyton 357 Combat Magnum, designed with input from legendary lawman Bill Jordan. It was meant to bridge the gap between S&W's lightweight revolvers and their massive .357 end frames. Something easier to carry on the hip, but still strong enough to handle magnum loads. Built on the medium-sized K-frame, the Model 19 quickly became a favorite among police agencies, federal officers, detectives, and anyone who wanted serious firepower in a reasonably compact package. The snub-nose version of the Model 19 typically features a 2.5-inch barrel and a 6-shot cylinder chambered for .357 Magnum, though it can also fire .38 Special. That makes it a very different beast from the 5-shot .38 snubs most people picture. The short barrel makes it extremely concealable and quick to draw, but you do sacrifice some muzzle velocity and sight radius. At close ranges, the kind of distances where mob hits, street confrontations, and fast surprises happen, a .357 snub is devastatingly effective. Stretch it out to 25 yards and it's a lot harder, but up close it hits like a truck. What makes the Model 19 such a perfect match for Frank Costello is the same thing that made snub-nose revolvers popular with real-life gangsters and plainclothes cops: simplicity and absolute reliability. There's no external safety to worry about, no slide to manipulate, no magazine to seat. You draw, you point, you pull the trigger. Revolvers, especially high-quality S&Ws like the Model 19, are famously dependable. They fire when they're filthy, they fire from awkward positions, and they almost never jam. For a man like Costello, who lives by instinct and intimidation, that level of trust is priceless. The downside, of course, is capacity. 6 rounds of .357 Magnum is a lot of punch, but it's still only 6 rounds, and reloading a revolver under stress is far slower than swapping a magazine in an automatic. But Costello isn't some lone gunman fighting multiple attackers. He's a mob kingpin with layers of protection around him. He only needs a gun for quick, decisive violence, and in that role, the Model 19 excels. If he can't solve a problem with 6 rounds of .357, he's dealing with a problem that bullets won't fix. In the film, we see Costello's Model 19 in several key moments, and it perfectly matches his character: old school, ruthless, and rooted in a different era of crime. There's something almost poetic about a Boston mob boss sticking with a classic steel snub instead of modern polymer pistols. It tells you everything about him. He's traditional, he's dangerous, and he knows exactly what works. One of the most compelling aspects of The Departed from a firearms perspective is how the guns themselves help define the characters who carry them. Frank Costello's snub-nose Smith & Wesson Model 19 is perfect for him. Old school, powerful, and rooted in a bygone era of mob violence where reliability mattered more than capacity. The Massachusetts State Police, meanwhile, are armed with Sig Sauer P226 and P228 pistols, weapons that symbolize official authority, structure, and the legitimate face of law enforcement. By contrast, the criminals' scattered mix of stolen police pistols, improvised weapons, and whatever happens to be available underscores the chaotic, opportunistic nature of Costello's world. Billy Costigan is caught between those two worlds, and his relationship with firearms reflects that tension. As an undercover cop, he often can't carry his issued SIG, leaving him exposed and constantly improvising. When he does have a gun, it's usually something borrowed, seized, or acquired under pressure. mirroring his identity crisis as someone who isn't fully a cop or a criminal. Colin Sullivan, on the other hand, always has his state-issued SIG at his side. He has the badge, the authority, and the appearance of legitimacy, but he's using them in service of Costello, which makes him more dangerous than any street-level thug. His duty pistol becomes a symbol of the film's central theme. The rot doesn't start in the streets, it starts inside the institutions meant to keep us safe. The Departed builds to a brutal, shocking climax where firearms play a central role. Without spoiling too much for anyone who hasn't seen the film, the final act features several sudden, violent confrontations where characters draw their weapons and lives are ended in split seconds. This isn't a Hollywood shootout with hundreds of rounds fired and nobody getting hit. This is realistic, brutal violence where one or two shots end everything. Scorsese's direction in these scenes is masterful. The violence is sudden, shocking, and final. There's no dramatic slow motion, no heroic last stands. Just the cold reality of what happens when someone pulls a trigger. The firearms in these scenes aren't glamorized. They're tools of death, and Scorsese makes sure we understand the weight of that. The Departed is a masterpiece of crime cinema, and part of what makes it so effective is the realistic depiction of firearms. From standard-issue police sidearms to classic revolvers to throwaway Saturday night specials, every gun in the film serves a purpose and tells us something about the characters and the world they inhabit. Martin Scorsese's attention to detail extends to the weapons used in the film. These aren't just props. They're carefully chosen firearms that reflect the reality of law enforcement and criminal activity in early 2000s Boston. The mix of modern semi-automatics and classic revolvers, of police-issue weapons and criminal throwaway guns, creates a rich, authentic world that draws us in and doesn't let go. What makes these firearms so fascinating is how they reflect the themes of the film. The Departed is about duality, about people living double lives, about the thin line between cops and criminals. The weapons reflect that. Police guns in the hands of criminals, criminal guns in the hands of cops, and nobody quite sure who to trust or where the next threat is coming from. So there you have it. The guns of the Departed. From the Smith & Wesson to Frank Costello's snub-nose revolver, these weapons are as much a part of the film's DNA as the incredible performances and Scorsese's masterful direction. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. Drop a comment below and let me know what your favorite scene from the film was, or if there's another movie you'd like to see covered. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.